Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode here in NHL 23. So in last episode we had quite a crazy draft. We managed to grab the high elite center in Asher Vance. The main reason was because, well, first and foremost, we were trying to move up from 3 to 1, and the Vancouver Canucks were rejecting it because I guess they had their eyes on a different prospect, which was the defensive defenseman. So they ended up getting him, so we actually had to move up only one spot to number 2. We made a good trade with the Detroit Red Wings, and we got the second overall pick. And with that pick, of course, we took the high elite center in Asher Vance, which I am very excited to see what this kid could do in his first season. Some of you guys are a little bit skeptical about high elite potential players, especially ones that are snipers and centers. So we are going to be trying him on the wing because of his shooting categories, but all around this guy should be a very good offensive player based on all his categories. Like, his offensive awareness is even an 88. His defensive awareness is even pretty good for snipers. So I'm really excited to see what this guy could do, and hopefully he's the cornerstone to building his team up to being a dynasty in a few, well, not a few years, I should say, but at least I would say 5 seasons, and maybe winning at least one Stanley Cup in the process. So yeah, hopefully Asher Vance could do pretty decently for this team. And also in the re-sign stage, we let go of quite a few players, and we are still way under the cap floor, I'm pretty sure, because as you can see, we have $33 million in cap space, so we are going to be signing a couple players and stuff like that, maybe some cap whales to make this team hit the cap floor. But we have a lot of good young talent jumping to the NHL this year, like Bryle Lambert, for example, is now up to an 82, Zari's up to an 82, Reichel's growing a little bit, Kurashev is still staying around his overall, which is okay. Frank Nazar's up to 79, so he should be in the NHL team next season as well. And yeah, we still have pretty much everybody from the original roster from last season as well. Because Kevin Fiala even is still with this team. We were debating about trading him in order to get that first overall pick, but we could not swing a trade as well. Byfield I thought was going to be on the chopping block, but since we're going to be using Vance as a right winger, I think at the beginning, I think it makes sense for us to hold on to him. So we'd have like Byfield as like the first line center, Pettersson as like a second line center, Brad Lambert as a third line center, that type of thing. Now, what would be an ideal combination would probably be playing Vance alongside somebody like either Brad Lambert or Mr. Pettersson, because both of these guys have pretty solid passing stats, so we will likely play them Vance with one of the two of these guys, and then like Zari could be like the third line center, or actually, yeah, Zari could be like the third line center. Reichel as well could be on the wing, that type of thing. Kurashev should probably be playing as a winger, or Nazar, so that type of thing. So anyways, before we get into free agency and starting up the season simulation, I do have quite a few comments to go over. So the first one is from Yo-Yo What's Up 101. He says, I don't understand why the Canucks took the defenseman. Crazy steal for the young team. You really need a goalie for this team if you want to compete. Vance for Calder. So about the goaltending combination, I think I'm going to be obviously running Comesso as our starter because I did give him a big contract here. $3.4 million for the next 5 seasons, so he technically is now our starting goaltender. I don't really trust Soderblom, but I probably will use Soderblom as like a depth goaltender maybe if we want to. And then we will probably sign ourselves a different goaltender that is making more money than Comesso, but probably like an 81 or an 80 overall, just so Comesso still gets that starting time, because I think Comesso is ready to take over the reins as a starting goaltender. I mean, he had a really good season down there in Rockford like a year ago, and then this regular season in the NHL, obviously everybody had a bad season, but he's got over a 900 save percentage, which is pretty good, but the goals against average, obviously not too great because his team really sucks. So hopefully he is ready to take that leap and be the starting goaltender. Next comment is from Saturn Otaku. He says, I would bring in a top 6 playmaker or a two-way center or on a big contract and put Vance on the wing alongside them. As good as Vance looks, I'm still skeptical that a center sniper can actually reach his full potential. Ryan Johansson and Yegor Sharangovich were the two that jumped out straight away. Nick Hague is a very reliable D-man. Don't know if he's worth almost $6 million, but if you have the cap space, he'd be a decent top 4 option. I like Kochikov for a goalie if you wanted to trade away someone for some assets that have fallen down the depth chart. I wouldn't sign Ranton because he's even with your young prospects, I think you're another year away from being a competitive for a playoff spot. So Basically, he's saying to bring in a top six center playmaker or two-way forward. But like I was just mentioning, I think basically what we'll do is we'll play him with the young guys like Pedersen or Lambert, and then Zari could be the third line center. Like I don't think we actually need a top six center because of that. Because we actually have a lot of good centers on this team, so I'd like to try and play some of these centers like Pedersen, for example, Lambert, at their actual positions. And then he was saying maybe to go after Nick Hague in terms of free agents, which I think we might end up doing just for another cap kind of whale type of player for at least a couple years. As you can see, our defensive core right now, actually maybe I won't. Because I do want Edvinsson to be playing in the NHL this year. Because I don't think he's going to develop much more, because I'm pretty sure I've seen him only cap out at like an 80-81, maybe an 82 at highest. So I think I got to play him this year. Yeah, I think I'm going to actually maybe not bring in Nick Hague. Just because this is another year where this team probably won't make the playoffs. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to bring in Nick Hague. Unless I was to put, like, say, Regula back into the AHL. But I don't think I'm going to do that. So, and we also have, like, Burnstrom who could be jumping up soon, too. So, yeah, I don't think I actually am going to bring in Nick Hague. Never mind about that. And then as for Kochetkov as a goalie, Kochetkov making, I'm pretty sure, less than $1 million. So I think I would rather sign a goaltender that's going to be bringing a decent amount of money. That way we're kind of closer to the cap minimum, a little bit easier. The next comment is from Lorraine Bunn, who says, the reasoning behind it, how this draft went, Canucks drafted for their need to partner Quinn Hughes with a defenseman who could actually defend, thus achieving the possibility of the ultimate pairing OFD-DFD. This added the fact that they're already paying serious cash to likes of Elias, Quinn, OEL, Bo, Brock, and JT. Sometimes the CPU teams will make an intriguing pick, believe it or not. It's the CPU GM thinking of the future of their cap predicament. The elite DFD will not get paid anywhere close to the amount as the elite center, which is true. So that makes sense. It's kind of neat though that DI would actually go for something that they need rather than like something that they already have a ton of, because I know I have seen bad examples of that before in franchise mode. So I guess it's actually kind of neat that the Canucks end up taking a DFD. Of course it obviously is, because we get the high elite center, but we're going to be probably paying this guy a lot of money, which I'm okay with. Once his ELC comes to an end, we're obviously giving him an 8-year deal regardless of how much he's scoring and all that type of thing, I think. Just because a high elite potential player is something you don't get too often. Like, I think I've never had a high elite player out of the draft in a long time. Next comment is from Rain T and Roll. He says, you looked at Vancouver and commented that they were set at center, so it makes sense to some degree that they'd go for the defenseman since they're both elite. Just Vance was high and not medium. Also, when you went to the trade finder, in each trade they wanted a defenseman and a forward, so they were looking to get a defenseman either way. Good series, keep it up. So yeah, so I guess Vancouver were looking towards what they actually need, because now if we go to their defensive core, you can see now they have Christensen as like a perfect like top 6 option for now, but eventually he'll easily be able to get into their top 4 and whatnot. They do still have a lot of left-handed defensemen, so if Christensen was right-handed, that would make more sense, but their defensive core is coming along quite nicely. Next comment is from HockeyGuy88. He says, I would sign a goalie and a depth player to big contracts to be cap buffers. Also, Asher Vance is an incredible steal. He's almost certainly going to be an amazing goal scorer for a very long time. And I asked him if there was any specific goaltenders that he had eyes on, and he said nobody in particular, just some guys that could be used as cap buffers. So we'll find out some players for that. Next comment is from Dag. He says, it's super awesome to see Vancouver AI recognize exactly what you called out about their center depth, put their pick on the block, and when it went out of time, drafted for need like EA says teams do. So yeah, that was kind of interesting. So I think it's actually a decent pick for them, but obviously this DFD, he's not going to be producing offensively, but he might be a really good shutdown defender, and who knows, maybe sometime we play them in the conference final, this type of guy could shut down like Asher Vance. So I'm not going to crap on their pick there, but obviously very stoked for us to get Asher Vance, and very excited to see what this kid could do in this episode as well. So anyways, let's get into free agency and sign up some players. We're also going to address our scouts, because we do need new scouts, and we are also going to be at the start of the season looking at potentially finding ourselves a new head coach. So let's get into free agency. And I think we are going to sign, obviously, ourselves a goaltender, and then we need a depth forward, I think is what Hawks fan was referring to. So We will find ourselves a depth forward or something like that that we could pay a lot of money to just to have as a cap whale and get ourselves to the cap floor. So what do we want as a backup goaltender? So if Kometsu is an 82, we probably want somebody like an 81 or an 80. Trying to figure out who we could probably go after. Philip Gustafson had an incredible year with Minnesota, it looks like. Yeah, he did. 934 save percentage. Wow. I mean, we're not as good as Minnesota defensively, but that's an intriguing one for a backup, like to be that good. And then he played also a little bit in the playoffs and was really good in his 30 minutes he played. Yeah, you know what? Philip Gustafson, I think, is a good backup option. We'll sign him. He's young too, and we'll give him 2 years at what he's asking for. But I'm gonna give him a lot more money, obviously, because we do need to get ourselves to the cap floor. So I'll probably give this guy like $5 million to be our backup goaltender, which you guys might think is kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, we need to hit that cap minimum. So let's give him $6 million for actually not 2 years. Let's go 1 year then, if we're doing that. Just because if we're giving him a 1 year deal, I don't want to give him a multi 2 years, $6 million deal when I have to give Pettersson his contract somewhat soon. So there is the goaltender. Now we need a depth forward, which I would preferably probably go with. We actually have a lot of centers, so I could probably go with a winger depth forward instead of a center depth forward this time around. Because normally I always go for depth centers, so that way they could win faceoffs. But Balcers wants $2 million. Might fit our bottom 6. It's not bad, but he's a sniper. I would probably prefer somebody more defensively minded in a sense. But there's not really a whole lot on the left wing side. What about right wing side? We do got a two-way forward. Logan O'Connor might be okay. Doesn't fit really anything about our team though, but that's okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with the Logan O'Connor here. Yes, I would rather a defensive forward on the bottom 6 than a sniper, to be honest. So we'll just give him also a 1 year deal, like $6 million bucks. And that should honestly get us close to the cap minimum. If it doesn't yet, we will probably sign ourselves some more players. But there you go. Logan O'Connor, you're getting $6 million as well. And then we'll go over to our assigned scouts and fire all our C-rated scouts and pick up some new ones. We'll have to assign those at the start of the season, so I might have to make an edit to cut that part out of the video because I don't want you guys to sit through me just like reassigning all those scouts like I did last season, I think it was, or maybe it was in my other franchise mode. But yeah, hopefully we could get ourselves a good group of scouts. Okay, so we already have Russia in the OHL, so let's go to hire scouts. And let's just sign everybody that's good, so let's go by rating. And we have 2 scouts and we could have a maximum of 20, so let's sign ourselves 18 scouts. And yeah, then that should be good. And then we'll have to assign them around into each area. So that's 5, I think I just said. Yeah, it's 6. Okay, we got a lot of them to sign. Hopefully they all accept. It's 8, 9. Hopefully we can get them all, because it would be kind of annoying not to get them all. Is that 10 now? 3, 6, 9, 10. Yeah, 11 actually. So we need 7 more. This is like the most scouts I think I've assigned in the offseason. 12. There's 13. 14. 15. 16. And 2 more. And they're all B-rated plus, which is kind of nice. There we go. So we should be able to get all those guys in. Like I said, we'll find a new head coach at the start of the season potentially as well. I mean, this guy might be okay for our team still. Yeah, this guy might actually be okay still as our head coach for next season. So, actually, that's his AHL head coach. Our NHL head coach is not that good. So we can honestly we'll probably find ourselves a new head coach, to be honest. Okay, let's advance a few days, see if we get those 2 players in for the $6 million, which more than likely we will. We're going to decline any trade we get sent to us unless it's something that I can't refuse. But we're going to get a lot of scouts accepting, which is going to be good. Hopefully all 18 of them accept. And then we could get ourselves some good prospects in the draft and find all those gems and hidden steals. No thank you, Boston. I'm not trying to trade anybody right now. But I appreciate the honesty and the offer. Okay, so we should be almost up at the acceptance. All these scouts are still accepting. Geez, there's too many of them. Okay, so we should be a day away from signing those players. Yep, Gustafson's accepted. That's good. And Camesso didn't like that, apparently, but it's literally a backup option. And O'Connor accepted as well. Okay, let's take a look and see how close we are to the cap floor. We are right underneath it. Okay, so we got to sign ourselves one more player, I guess. Let's go to free agents again. We'll sign another depth option. This guy might honestly play as a... probably will play as a depth option for us. Still a lot of big name free agents out there. Let's go with a depth right winger again. Maybe a depth left winger. Let's go with the depth right winger. Why not? Go to the bottom of this list. Nick Patan, we could bring in... yeah, let's bring in Patan. Why not? And he wants a two-way deal, but I'm going to give you a one-way deal. And I'm going to give you like 4 million, 4.5 million. Maybe I'll give him... yeah, let's give him 4.5. That should put us closer to the cap minimum. Actually, I'm going to go to 5 million just to kind of make it a little bit safer. There you go. Now we should be at the cap minimum once we get him in. When these guys are getting way overpaid, but that's okay. Because nobody's going to want to trade for them anyways. There you go. Patan is accepted. Now we should be at the cap floor, I think. Let's go to proposed trade. Yep, now we're over the cap floor. Perfect. That's exactly what we needed. Now let's begin the sim up to next season and get our lines set up and all that. Very excited to see what the roster looks like going into the next season. And like I said, I'm very excited to see what Asher Vance could do in his first season. Should be intriguing. We'll look for a new coach before we actually get our lines adjusted and stuff like that. So this might be a little bit of a longer episode. Let's see. Getting tons of trade offers, and this is kind of annoying when that happens, when you get literally sent all these offers. But hopefully guys like Fiala and Byfield and all that have a bounce back season if we get ourselves a new head coach, because we're definitely going to need one. Or we could just promote the AHL head coach, but I don't know if that would work that well with this team. Are we almost there at least, please? Because I hate all these offers. It's pretty annoying. Okay, we should be almost there if these trade offers wouldn't just keep popping up. Okay, there we go. I think we're almost there because it's not showing up anymore. That's good. Okay, let's not look at our lines just yet. Let's look at potential new coach additions for this team. Yeah, because we definitely don't want this one. We're going to fire... yeah, we're going to fire Komisarek for now and just promote our AHL associate coach to interim NHL head coach. We're going to hire ourselves a head coach. Let's see what we got here. 60%. Ooh, 66 is decent. Works well with Holtonen. Does he work good with Vance? Somewhat. But 66 is pretty good. 65 as well for Scoville. Works better with Vance. That's good. But that's an offensive-based coach. What's his teaching like? Not very good. What about that 66 that we were looking at? There's another 65. Doesn't maybe works good. Yeah, this guy actually might be good. Generalist, good teaching. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna go with this dude as our coach. Actually, he's only B rating though. But or do we just go with an A rated coach? This guy's really good at everything. 60% is not bad. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna go with try and offer the best head coach available some money. Because if we get ourselves a good coach for this young team, that is exactly what we should use. So let's try that. He should accept, I would hope, unless other teams are interested in him. but there is other options as well if for some reason we can't get him. So there's the coach. Let's I'm gonna quickly make a jump cut though. I'm gonna reassign all these scouts, so I will see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so all the scouts are assigned. As you can see, I assigned 2 to pretty much every league except for guys like the NLA, for example, and all the USA ones, but still we got scouts in every region and should be pretty good in terms of getting ourselves some good prospects in future drafts. Anyways, let's see if we get this coach now, and then we will edit our lines accordingly, and we'll sim a little bit, and looks like the coach is rejecting because of the size of our team, or the team quality or something like that, so we will try and get him again. Obviously we could just give him as much as we want, and he should probably accept. We'll give him like $7 million, because why not? We're all for giving the coaches a lot of money, you know. Actually, even this much should be good, so let's do that. Offer him a new salary, and hopefully he accepts that, and then we'll get the line set up. Like I said, we'll simulate maybe a month or two just to see how Asher Vance and the new team does this season. Hopefully we do a lot better this year. There we go. So Durrett is accepted. That is perfect. We'll go back to our coaching staff now. And I believe it was Bergforce that needs to go back down to the AHL associate coach. We should probably look for new other coaches as well, but we'll leave that for now. Okay, so that is set up properly. Let's go to edit lines and see what we got for this team. Wow, okay, Fiala still in a bit of a morale crisis, but that's okay. That's okay. It'll probably change when we start winning games. SnipeNScore should not be down there though. Some of these guys, I don't know why they were sent down. So SnipeNScore should be up. Patan was a depth option. Hayes is technically ready, it looks like, as well. Can I call both of them up? I'd be over the player limit. Who would I have to send down? Damn. Okay, a lot of these guys are still on morale problems. And Whistle's making not that much, right? 775. Yeah, I'll have to maybe... Wait, how old is Whistle? 26. And we won't call it Patan. We'll just call it SnipeNScore then. Over the player limit. I still have to send somebody down apparently. This is kind of annoying. Who do we got on depth options right now? Do we have 2 depth defensemen? Because if we have multiple depth defenders, then I could send one of them down. No, it's all forwards that should not be scratched even. Well, most of them. Let's just try and rework this around a little bit. So let's go with Zar down there, Reichel down there. Olsen's definitely not ready to be up on the second line yet, so. That could work, maybe. Yeah, if it isn't Zara's face-offs, only 75. Zari's face-offs are pretty good. Olsen, maybe move him up. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Who else is scratched? Kurashev should definitely not be scratched. We will have to take out probably Whistle here. And yeah, oh, Brad Lambert also needs to be dressed. God damn, we have way too much players. We have way too many players. So we'll take Kachuk out as well. Get Brad Lambert in, because Brad Lambert needs to be in. Does Brad Lambert work there better? Not really. Who's a better face-off man? It is going to be Zari. Oh, this is a weird looking team. Is Kupal league listed as a third liner? Yeah, he is. Okay. Okay, we'll do something like that maybe. Kurashev definitely needs to be in, but damn, I don't know if I should have gave Kurashev that long-term deal. Because now this team is trying to find a spot for him, and it's like, where do I slot him in? We'll put it like that, maybe. Yeah, we'll go with this for now. And then we'll have to send down probably Entwistle. Yeah, we'll send down Entwistle. What is our defensive core looking like? And it's not. It's kind of weak because of the morale crisis. Yeah, this team is kind of looking a little bit weirder than I thought. But hopefully we could still bounce it back. I guess FNSU can't play, but he should probably be a depth forward over somebody like Kachuk. Yeah, probably. Actually, he might lose morale easier, so maybe not. So let's go back down here. I guess we'll leave FNSU in the AHL. I am confused. And we will have to call up ourselves a depth defenseman, which in this case... Is anybody listed as a depth defender on our team right now? Regula is still okay. And Goodbranson's listed as a minor top 2. So he will be a scratch regardless. So we'll call up Brunstrom. And we will send down... I guess... Who was it? Man, I am lost. Entwistle. Yeah, there we go. So Brunstrom will take over the spot for Goodbranson. Goodbranson's going to be a depth defenseman for us. AHL team still looks like it's going to be pretty solid, which is nice, but this is going to be a weird season, I think. Yeah, we'll try something like this. Why not? Yeah, okay, that works. So there's our team for the season. Let me just see if Vance is getting good power play time. He's getting first line power play time. Okay, I'll take that. But I do want to rework this power play a little bit. And maybe I'll leave it the same. It's got +5 chemistry, so why not? Yeah, we'll do that. Why not? Okay, so our team is set up and ready to go for the upcoming season. It's a weird looking team. Let's simulate, I'd say, up to December 1st. Just to get a little bit of the season simulated. And yeah, hopefully this team could win more games than they did last year. And hopefully with the once the morale starts to get better with this team, then this team should end up getting better in terms of overall rating. Like Kevin Fiala should jump back up to being like an 86 or wherever he was. So 4-3 in the preseason, that's pretty good. Halton then led the team in points with 8 points through 7 games. Good to see. Yeah, hopefully this young team could do pretty good. And like we said, we have a lot of players that are all like similar overalls and ratings and stuff like that, and that means we could probably rework the lines a lot throughout the season, which is good as well, to try and get certain players going if for some reason they're not off to a good start. Oh yeah, I was thinking of playing Edvinsson this year actually, so maybe I should play Edvinsson instead of Brunstrom. But Edvinsson was just injured, so. But, yeah, maybe that's something I end up doing early into the season once he's back. Looks like Fiala's is back up to an 84, which is good, so. Maybe morale is starting to return back to normal to this team. Okay, let's go to the end of this first month. It's not that much games in October, but let's see what this team could do. 9-4 loss to start the season, but we bounced back with 2 wins, so we already almost have as much wins as last season, so that's a good start. Let's just go best lines down there in Rockford. There's a loss, there's a shootout win, and oh, of course Manson gets injured now. That would be the perfect time to call up the boy in Edvinsson. 4-2 in our first month, so yeah, we're doing a lot better already, which is good. Byfield's back to form, it looks like 6 points through 6 games. Yeah, I like that. That's good. But I don't like that Goodbranson's going to be now getting top line time. I feel like I should be sending Goodbranson down because he's dropped off a lot. Actually, never mind. He's back up to a 78. That's good. But still, our defensive core could use some work. I would like to call up Edvinsson, but we have a lot of left-handed defenders, I think. Right? Yeah, it looks like it. Let's actually flip the 2 of these guys since Korchinski can't play the right side. Yeah, it looks like everybody's getting back in terms of morale and stuff like that. And hopefully, wow, Patterson jumped back up to an 85. That's great. Him and Vance, hopefully the 2 of them have a good start to the season and finish off strong as well. So let's do one more month up to December the 1st, and then we'll take a look at player stats and see how our team is doing. And yeah, hopefully it's pretty decent at that stage. Looks like the new coach is definitely helping us out. And damn, Edvinson's really struggling with his injuries problems right now. He just suffered a concussion out till December the 2nd. So he's been injured 2 times already in this short season. And Manson is back. That's good. We will take out Goodbranson. Hopefully Goodbranson doesn't be a little bit of a locker room cancer with being scratched multiple times. But okay, it looks like this team is still doing a lot better, though, which is good. We almost have as much wins as last season in the first month. I don't know if it's just because of the new coach, but also it could be the addition of all these youth players. Because literally we added, let's see, Lambert was, I think, on our team last season, but Pedersen and stuff like that was also. Vance is a huge addition. Nazar is a huge addition. Yeah, this team is going to be interesting with the amount of young talent and the veterans that we picked up in the first year. So... Holtonen's been injured, but at least it's not too long term. We'll go replace player. But yeah, our team already has more wins than last season. And now Brunstrom's been injured. That's another good young player. That really sucks. Let's go best lines back there in Rockford because it doesn't matter too much. And now Logan O'Connor's been injured. Of course, our depth guy has to go down with an injury. Now Brunstrom is back. Looks like we suffered some losses after all those injuries. Where was he? Right here. Brunstrom back in. That's good. Yep. And Holtonen was already thrown back into the lineup, which is good. Okay, there's a win. So it looks like once we have our depth players in, we lose a bunch of games, apparently. There you go. 14-6-1 in our first 2 months, so we're off to a way better start than last year. And our team locker room chemistry has jumped back up to a 71%. Byfield's over point per game. This is a great way to start off, or a good way to rebound from one of the worst seasons in NHL history, probably. Let's take a look at our team stats and player stats, see what is going on with this team so far. But we are currently the 5th best team in the NHL, which is great. We've won 69% of our games, or got points in 69% of our games. Goals for per game wise, we are looking like we're a decent offensive team. A little bit below the top 10. Our goals against per game wise, we are not too good still. So I don't know why we're assimilating as good as we are. We're still a little bit of a bad defensive team. Our power play percentage is also one of the best in the league, top 10, 19.7%. And our penalty kill is pretty mid-table, looks like. But there is some penalty kills that are insane right now. Like the Rangers are 94%. We're all the way here at 85.9%. We're really good on the road right now, but not good on home ice, which is interesting. So there is that. Let's take a look at our player stats through the first 21 games of the year. Next episode will probably simulate up to the trade deadline. So yeah. But Quinton Byfield, 26 points in 21 games, up to an 89 overall. Almost at the same point total as he had all last season, so great to see him bounce back in return to form. Vance, 11 points in 21 games, a minus 11. Wow, we actually have a lot of minus players for our team being as good as they are. Yikes. I mean, this is a good start, though, point production-wise, because he's on pace for, I don't know how much points that is, but 81 shots in 21 games as well. He's shooting the puck a good amount. He's got more goals than assists. It's going to take him a little bit to get used to the NHL level, but that is okay. And yeah, we'll probably try and find himself maybe a little bit. He's got a good amount of ice time already, so we'll see if we could just rework it a little bit. Maybe plat him down to the 3rd line. But I know if we're actually he's listed as a 2nd liner, so maybe we want to keep him where he is. Or put him next to Lambert instead. Zari 11 points, Pedersen 11 points, Nazar 11 points. Only 1 goal, which is kind of weird. Reichel 8 points, Lambert 8 points, and Kurashev 7. Kurashev is still signed for 6 years. It's kind of crazy. Fiala's point per game, so good to see him return to form, but he is only an 84, which is a little bit weird. Kubalik 7 points, Olsen only 4 points. Holtonen 17 points in 18 games, so it looks like our top line might be carrying this team. O'Connor had 2 points in 3 games. Defensively, Girard's returned to form as well. Brunstrom's got 5 points in 19 games, not bad. Gorchinski and Jones 3 points. Manson, Regula 2 points, and nothing from Goodbranson. But Yeah, I can see there's a little bit of problems with this team. It looks like defensively, both goaltenders have been decent. It looks like Gustafsson is 5-1 as their backup. He's got a 908 and a 3.13. But look at Comesso, a 914 save percentage so far and a 2.81. Not too bad from Comesso. Any assists from our goalie so far? Nope. So our top line is all like around point per game. Then Sam Girard. Yeah, so it looks like our depth scoring is maybe our problem at the moment, but hopefully that picks up as the season goes on because we're only 21 games in at this stage. So there is that. Let's take a quick look at the potential draft class out of curiosity to see if this team, if we make the playoffs, are we losing it out on somebody decent? We have no idea yet, but there is Bobby Fuller as a second overall pick. That's an interesting name. Interesting. Whose contracts are up for renewal as well this season? At the end of the season, so we know they give the extensions maybe already. Oh, Pettersson's already up for renewal at the end of this season. You know what? We should probably give him that. An 8-year deal at $6 million or so would actually be a really good steal considering he's medium elite potential at 20. You know what? I think I'm already going to send him an offer. He is probably the top line center of the future, maybe the second liner. Depends on if he takes over Byfield's spot or not. But let me just see what I could offer him. I'm going to try the 85% trick and already try and give him a crazy low offer for 8 years, and we'll find out if he accepts that in next episode. So I'll have to wait a bit, but we'll give him 5.3 or 3.5 for 8 years. If he accepts this might be the biggest steal considering he's medium elite. So we'll see if he accepts that. Also, we have guys like Brad Lambert up for renewal that I should probably give big extensions to. Doesn't look like he's going to grow much more as well, so we might be able to snag him on a cheap contract. Olsen as well for our phase, but in general, not too much big players are up for renewal, which is great. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. So in next episode, we will continue simulating the season up to the trade deadline. We'll see what this team could do and see if this team could win more games and continue this off to this the season start that we've had. Buffalo looks like they've been terrible, like doing exactly what we did last year. But yeah, hopefully this team continues to win games and maybe somehow makes it into the playoffs this season. So anyone can think down below, and I'll see you guys next time.